Hey there, welcome back to another Human Design for Business Q&A session. I'm Lise, creative business strategist, and I've been in business for over 14 years, helping thousands of female creative entrepreneurs grow businesses using email marketing and human design. And if you're here, you're all in on the human design bandwagon. Now, today we have got a follow-up question from a beautiful manifesting generator around what it looks like to follow your strategy in business. And basically, what she's saying is she goes, I find using my own strategies are most appropriate, but I do wonder if that's the way I should be doing it because making money has been hard. And what I find really interesting is the next thing that she says. I've basically had to give up and the money just flows again. So here's the thing about being intentional and letting things happen. When you're a manifesting generator, you're here to respond. You're not here to make anything happen. So I definitely would always question if you do, if you're saying things like, I'm following my own strategies when it comes to running your business, but you are wondering that if I'm doing things following my strategy, it's hard. But when I don't do anything, and I'm using air quotes, then money just starts to flow. Here's the thing, money flows when we stop controlling things and we literally respond. So, whilst you may think you've been following your own strategy and authority, if you find that anything is not working, it's typically a sign that you're doing things out of alignment. And it's really easy for this to happen because we can step into the head center, which is a pressure center, at any given time, right? This is really loud. Whether it's defined or open doesn't really matter. It's a pressure center. It's just that the pressure is going to show up a little bit differently. But your job is to pay attention to the thoughts that you're thinking and the actions that you're taking. And if anything just doesn't feel right, if anything doesn't feel easy, then that's always a sign to pause and go, am I actually following my gut? Because you're a manifesting generator. Am I responding? Right? For me, the thing that I do because I'm a manifesting generator is I'm always anytime that something isn't clicking, right? If anything's not clicking for me, if I'm sitting there going, oh, why is this not working? And then I'm like, oh, hang on a minute. That is never something that I should ever be worrying about because everything works if I just respond to whatever the universe puts in front of me. So anytime I've got that kind of niggle or something just isn't working, then I am going to step back and drop down into my gut and literally ask the question, am I following my gut? Yes or no? And this just takes practice, right? This is the thing. Human design is not something that you will immediately get. And you might start on the path and think, oh, I'm doing all the things, right? I'm following my strategy and authority. But are you genuinely following strategy and authority? Because here's the thing that I know to be true. When you follow strategy and authority and you truly give up thinking that you're doing it, then things do just align, right? Exactly what you've said. You just give up and money just starts flowing because you've literally stopped trying to control. And we worry about things, right? Particularly if we have an open head center. I keep coming back to this because the open head is such a gift, but it's also a challenge too. And so it's just being aware that if things aren't going the way that you hope that they would go, or if things are feeling hard, then oftentimes we've stepped out of following our strategy and authority, even though we think we might be doing that. And it's actually our head that is now taking over. So it's a constant process of checking in. Here are some ways that you can make sure that you're actually following strategy and authority, particularly as a manifesting generator. So the first thing that you want to do is to literally ask yourself, am I following strategy and authority, right? Like literally ask yourself, and your gut is the thing that is going to respond. Always lead with your gut. Then, if you're not sure, right, if you're not sure if you're responding, then the next thing that you're going to do is ask the universe to send you signs, right? Send me signs to respond to. So, whatever it is that you're doing. So, whatever marketing activity that you're doing, whatever that looks like, you literally ask the universe, hey, universe, I've been doing, 2 reels a day on social media. Send me some signs that that's what I'm meant to be doing. And then pay attention to what comes into your awareness. And then does your gut light up, right? Like, are you excited about whatever you see? Now, when I say, signs coming in, all of those things, signs could literally be anything. And this is why you really need to, really tune in and pay attention. Basically, a sign is going to be anything that reminds you of whatever your question was, right? So if you ask that question, am I meant to be doing reels every day, posting 3 reels a day, whatever, then I would expect things to come into my awareness around someone sharing reel templates would be a sign. An email coming through of someone saying that their reel strategy is bringing them, 10 leads a day, something along those lines. But I'd start to see some things coming through that mention reels. That would be the key that I would be looking for. Now, I don't need to actively go and look for these, right? And that's not what we're doing, because now we're stepping into making things happen. We're here to respond. As a sacral being, we respond first, and everything externally from us is an opportunity for us to respond to, yes or no. The challenge comes when this comes into play, right? Like, as we've already talked about, if this is the thing that you're finding is the loudest, then you need to be practicing sitting with your gut. And the best way to do that is to get yourself into a space where nobody is in your immediate aura. Now, remembering that your aura is massive. So if you put your arms out either side of you, that's how big your aura is around you, right? So you need to make sure that no one is in that aura. So go to the other end of the house or the other end of the apartment, pop yourself into a room, and just center yourself by putting your hands on your gut and literally just sitting there. And then you can ask yourself questions, but they have to be yes or no. No open-ended questions. Your gut doesn't know how to respond to those. It's a yes or a no. There is no maybe. Your gut is very black and white. It's either yes or it's no. That's it. There is no gray areas at all when it comes to following your gut. So release the need to control all the things. And this is really hard to do because our head loves to know where we're going, what we're doing, all the things, right? The open head is all about wanting to know everything, to be the fastest person to answer a question. And if you have a defined head, then you're also going to have all the things, but now you're going to have an unlimited amount of ideas coming at you all the time, and you're going to be bombarded with those. Neither one is correct unless you can confirm that you are responding. It's so important. So basically, you want to release the need to know how you're going to make money. And that is the crux of the problem for all of us, is we want to know how we're going to make money. But if we can release that need to know and trust that if we simply follow our gut, if we follow our strategy and authority, then everything will just work. And that's exactly what you've experienced. But now I want you to be much more intentional about it, right? Literally responding to everything external. Everything is an ability for you to respond to. So step into responding is always going to be your fastest path to cash, fastest path to leads, fastest path to anything that you want. And it is really easy. We just have to pay attention and not allow our heads to lead us down the garden path. So hopefully this was helpful. And if you're watching this and you want your own question answered, then pop that in the Q&A form below, and I will answer it on one of our next Q&A sessions. Take care.